Gas laws are opaque things, so it can be difficult to see where they play a role in our lives. But if we take a closer look, we can see that they affect our everyday lives in things we might not expect, like bread. If you've ever made bread or seen it being made, you may have wondered, why does bread rise in the oven? Well, here's why. The yeast in the bread creates CO2 bubbles. When put in the oven, these CO2 bubbles expand even further. This makes the bread fluffy. And in fact, while it may seem like a strange comparison, hot air balloons function on a similar principle. You may have seen hot air balloons in movies or in real life and wondered what powers them to fly up so high. After all, they don't run like a car or a helicopter or a conventional means of transportation. When the air inside the balloon is heated by the propane fire underneath, the balloon rises. This is because the hot air inside the balloon is lighter than the cold air surrounding the balloon. So, the balloon rises. Both baking bread and hot air balloons rely on the same principle of gas laws. More specifically, they both rely on Charles' law. In chemistry, gas laws are laws that relate the pressure, volume, and temperature of a gas. Charles' law is one of those laws and relates temperature with volume. The definition of Charles' law states that the volume of an ideal gas at constant pressure is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of that gas. As we see in this graph, as temperature increases, volume of a gas increases too. This is supported by Charles' law. Here's the formula for Charles' law. In both real-world examples, the bread baking and the hot air balloon, Charles' law is applied. Remember, Charles' law says that the temperature and volume of a gas are directly correlated and proportional. Because of Charles' law, when the propane heats the air in the hot air balloon, the air expands and fills the balloon. This also makes it less dense and causes the balloon to rise. Similarly, when the bread was put in the oven, the increased temperature caused the CO2 bubbles created by yeast to increase in volume, causing the bread to rise. Gas laws may be hard to conceptualize, but they are relevant in our everyday lives and form the world around us. Here's a takeaway question. Why do you think aerosol cans like spray deodorant warn not to be placed in heat or near a flame? The answer is below.